We are here today with Robert. Robert is head of IT for one of the biggest hotels in Ghana, and we want to see how he uses information technology in his operation. So, Robert, welcome to Technology Today.
Thank you.
Robert, I have this question. It's not my question though. I know it's one of the questions that almost everybody asks when it comes to hospitality. You know, demand for internet now is high. Personally, I say that internet even is more important than hot water these days. How are you able to manage guests, especially guest complaints when it comes to internet? And how do you ensure that guests do not experience a lot of downtime?
Yeah, thank you. So from our end here, what we've done is we've made available a backup line, and of course, the first thing is to make sure that the main line has enough bandwidth, because the requirement and the demand is high for our guests, and you just need to make sure that giving them enough. I mean, there's never enough, but
Absolutely.
you give them what they can work with, and then make sure that if there's any issue with the main line, the backup line is also there to support. And so we just made it in a way, it's a quick cutover, seamless. You don't really need to do anything. So far that's what we've done. But the fact is, we have good internet, enough bandwidth for all our guests to use.
So if I understood you, you have more or less like multiple ISPs where
Yes,
there's
exactly.
automatic follower when there's any downtime.
Yes, exactly.
I think it's a smart move.
Yeah.
That's a move. Okay. So let me say this. Now that COVID is high, demand for virtualization or virtual systems now is more important. How do you manage guest like events? Now that we use more of the virtual rooms like the Zoom, Teams, and all that, so how do you deal with such applications?
Okay, so with that, the major issue has to do with the bandwidth requirement, and then the kind of devices they want to use. Some are okay using their laptops with their camera and all that. Some also require high-end cameras for the meeting. In those instances, currently we don't have those high-end, but we're able to fall on third parties to support in that direction, yes. But like I said, the major issue is how much bandwidth they require. Whatever it is they require, we can give them. If it's more than what we give our guests, then it comes at a charge. But at the end of the day, we're able to support them to achieve their target, yes.
That's nice. Let me ask this. You know, now competition probably say it's high, and when it comes to hospitality, now everybody is looking up to service delivery. You understand, in terms of technology, because when you go to advanced countries, as you need to say, you know, there's a lot of automation.
Yeah.
Like I was once in Singapore. Once you check in, it's automatic. It's auto checking. There's no human interaction. Compare our system here into countries like Dubai and advanced countries. Do you see there's a future for our technology today? Because when we check the digital division in Ghana, it's more or less like 70-30. Those who have access to technology today is about 30%. So do you see future for our technology, and what are you guys doing to ensure that we have a lot of automation, not the manual way of doing things?
Yeah, thank you. From our side, so some of these things have become a standard requirement that you need to implement. So the issue about checking in and all that, we have all those options available. Some of them we're still working on it to make it functional, so that you don't have that interaction with guests at the reception. Because based on COVID, all we want to do is eliminate contact. You understand? So the online check-in, or even when you get to the reception, there's the program to just have the guests do his or her own check-in with an iPad or anything like that. And there's also the part where you can just do it from your phone.
Okay.
But these are projects that are currently ongoing.
Okay.
So I'm sure very
So
soon.
there's a pilot test
Yes.
on that.
Yes.
Okay.
They've done some pilots in other properties and it worked fine. So we are also in the process, but of course it needs owner approval and all, because there's some money, some huge amounts involved. So we're working on that.
Absolutely. Everybody wants to make returns on investment.
Sure.
So that brings me to a good question that I always ask though. Do management really invest in IT?
Yes, they do. They do as and when it's necessary. You understand? And of course, you don't just carry anything to management. You must justify it. And once, for example, it's a standard or it's what's the word they use? If it's mandatory per core standards, then you don't have an option, but you have to go with it. Yes. So they're doing a lot of investment, but of course choosing wisely and carefully.
Absolutely.
Yes, sure.
Okay. So how secured are guests, especially when they come in and do business using their credit cards? You know, we hear on other cybersecurity platforms that information breach and all. So how secured are they when they come in and use their credit card in business?
So with this credit card thing, you know, we are certified by the PCI-DSS, the payment card industry. That's a standard, and certification comes along with taking a test and making sure all staff know what this is about and what they need to do, their part they have to play in this thing, in making sure guest data and sensitive data like credit card information is kept safe. And of course, if you don't, you definitely will find yourself in a big fine. Nobody wants to do that. So we do our part from our side here to make sure that yes, we are keeping guests' credit card information safe, as well as other sensitive information about guests as safe as possible and as per standards.
Okay, Robert, we don't want to take much of your time. Thank you for being part of MF Technology.